This is the young professor Matt Grafer, and you're watching the new Legends on Deck podcast with your hosts, Brian Koss and David Conde.
Rollins. Oh, he rips it foul. Did he tomahawk that ball? Good catch by that fan, but fortunately he's in foul ground. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
This one was a hanger. That's the breaking ball that he wanted to get down and away, and great catch by that guy in foul territory, as Harry says. And now Vern Rule is going to come out to him. Fell down. Uh-oh, there's another one. Robert Person has hit his second home run, and that's a long one. Way out by Person. And the Phillies lead this one 4-1 on his second major league home run, and a no doubt about it homer.
Boy, he just turned on this fastball. Wow. That big smile for him. I don't know who's happier, Person or the guy that caught it up there above the scoreboard in left field in the aisle.
Killed that thing. He hit that ball in the seats. That's a real home run.
He got a fastball that he knew it. Watch this guy make the catch out there. He's just standing there. Yeah. High-fiving everybody.
Thanks, Eric.
There we go.
What's happening, Robert?
Beep, beep, beep.
That was awesome, the way he called that home run.
Did you get to hear it?
That was great. Hey, how you doing, man?
Dude, here's the ball.
Oh, sweet.
You definitely deserved that.
Thanks,
You hit the
man.
hell out of that.
Thanks. You caught it?
Yeah, I caught it. And I left my seat and I was like, let's go get something to eat, relax. And next thing I know, I'm talking with security guards and I see the ball hit. I was like, I'm not moving. It's coming right to me. I was like, I got it. I called him off like I was an outfielder. Nobody was around me, but I called him off. But I caught it. It came right to me. So.
Sweet.
Good
Oh,
job, dude.
let me give you.
Which is the homer bag?
He can't have a home run. I got to put that. I'm going to use that again.
You got a Sharpie here.
Because I used the black bat today. So.
Oh, okay, there you go.
Yeah, I used the black one.
Wow.
Well, he got a ball if you want to.
Okay, yeah.
We gave him a ball for turning that ball in.
You want me? I'll do a pin on that. You might.
I got it.
You want me to go get us?
We got
a silver? A silver
have
one for this.
Let me go get you one.
If you have a ball, I can give you this one.
Perfect.
No, I got this.
Dude, you crushed that ball.
Thanks.
Did, man. That was awesome.
I remember I was here for the first one you had too.
Oh,
Against the
really?
Mets. Yeah, and then, this one you just demolished.
You knew it right away, too.
Well, I knew it was coming right to me. I knew it wasn't going over my head. I knew
that one.
Where are you from?
Vineland, New Jersey, about a half hour away. But I don't have season tickets, but I come to like 2 games out of every series, and I'm here all the time. I met him the other night. Sometimes I see him, but I mean, some of you guys are probably tired of me trying to get autographs all the time. But I mean, I come to all the games that I can. I love it here. So.
Okay. Well, keep coming, man.
First place, baby. First place.
That's right.
Thank you
Keep
very
catching
much.
some runs.
Thank you very much.
You're going to get that silver one, and then I'll... Actually, let me take it on up, because I got to take this ice off right now. And I'll have them bring it right back down.
Okay, great. Thanks,
Actually,
Robert.
put it on
Great
the
job.
video.
Yeah.
There we go. So it's Mark?
Yeah.
Okay.
What's your last name, Mark?
Ediss, E-D-I-S-S.
Mark, come here a second.
I'm just trying to get this case back on the floor.
There you go. Just here. There you go. Thanks a lot, Robert.
I might have to repossess this bat. That's
There you go.
Oh, it's cracked.
Huh?
Thank you
No,
very
it's not
much.
cracked. No, it's brand spanking new.
Thank you very much. Very nice. It's the home run hitting Robert Person bat. Thanks a lot, dude.
Hopefully I get some more. We'll see.
That's what I'm saying.
Hey, be back out there and catch another one.
I'll be here all the time, man. Thanks.
All right, man. Take it easy. All right?
Have a good one.
Okay, I will.
Good game tonight.
Thanks a lot, bro.
Welcome to episode 46 of the Legends on Deck podcast. I'm Brian Koss, along with my co-host, David Conde. Today's guest is Mark the Shark Ediss, who comes to us from Banana Land. We've really enjoyed following the Savannah Bananas over the last couple of years, and I actually reconnected with Mark here in Tampa just a few weeks ago. And if you watch the Bananas, you whether on social media or on in live and in person, which I strongly recommend, you would hear a lot of music and background to the game. The whole thing, the whole production has got a soundtrack to it, and everybody dancing on the field and entertaining the crowd. This is the guy. Mark is the guy behind the scenes, making the music, talking over the PA, and he's the background to everything you hear. Mark, welcome to the show.
I appreciate y'all having me. Thank you for the invite. It's a pleasure to be here.
Definitely. I can say when we went up to Tampa to the game, I think in April, that was the first time ever that I probably loved hearing Baby Shark and dancing to it.
Yeah, it used to give me all kinds of feelings when I heard it, but now it's just I don't even notice it anymore because they play it after every Banana stolen base. I don't even notice anymore. It's just kind of burned in my head, and I don't even think twice about it anymore.
It's funny because I was walking around the stadium, and I was people watching and watching the smiles and everything, the faces and the kids. And I tell Brian all the time, we tell a lot of guests that was the first time I ever seen kids never get up in this generation, not from a baseball. They just stood there, and when that song came on, parents and grandparents and kids singing and dancing. It was like, my God, like it was just amazing.
Yeah, it's funny you mention that because it's not just the kids that are doing the Baby Shark thing. It's the parents, everybody. I mean, everybody, every age group, every ethnicity. It's everybody just doing that. It's amazing to me.
It must give you chills just to be able to overlook that and see that you see all these people doing that every single night that you have a game.
Yeah. So the thing is, and I'm glad you asked that. So like 4,000 people at Grayson every game, and tens of thousands on the bigger ballparks we've been to on tour. I don't get a lot of time to just relax. I'm nonstop going. I don't get a chance to breathe. But during Hey Baby and during Yellow, I can kind of sit back and breathe, if you will, and just kind of look around. For Hey Baby, it's 4,000 plus, or however many people are in the ballpark that night, sold out every time. But singing and dancing, forgetting about every single thing that might be going on in their life for those 3 hours that they're at the ballpark with us. And during Yellow, when they got their phone lights going,
that's awesome.
I get to look around at the whole ballpark. I get the best seat in the house everywhere I'm at, and to look at the amount of people that are there and doing what they're doing and just enjoying the show. Yes, it's very much a oh my gosh, I can't believe what we're doing moment, and the fact that I get to be a part of this is unreal, man. It's a feeling that I can't explain except to know that we're bringing smiles for miles. I like that sentence. We are. It's an incredible feeling to know what we're doing is really impacting a bunch of different people all at once. And for those 3 hours there at the ballpark, or 4, or whatever it is, pregame, and then the 2-hour time limit game, to know that all their hard things that are happening in their life are kind of out the window for that time they're at the ballpark with us. That's a great feeling. Pretty powerful, you know what I mean? Like to have everybody's feelings just go away for a minute, problems or whatnot. It's pretty awesome.
That's awesome. So let's shy away from the Savannah Bananas for a little bit. Let's talk about you. Kind of give us an idea, where did you grow up? What was your favorite memories of baseball growing up? And have you ever worked in baseball prior to becoming the DJ of the Bananas?
All right, so from Vineland, New Jersey, originally. It's a little tiny town. It's not so tiny, but Vineland, New Jersey, South Jersey, about a half hour outside of Ocean City, the Sea Isle City area, and really right over the bridge, about 40 minutes away from Philadelphia. So I grew up an all Philly sports fan. Go Birds, go Phillies, go Sixers, and I don't care about hockey because that team needs a new owner. But anyway, we won't talk about that. I got into to radio really, really early in my life. I hung out at my local station in Vineland, starting in the 6th grade. My parents would drop me off every night around 7 o'clock. I'd do my homework when I got home. I'd get dropped off at the local radio station, hang out there till 9 o'clock. I used to call the nighttime DJ at the local station every single night. And finally, he's like, dude, stop calling me. Come in here and help me out. Okay. started pulling. This is back when commercials were on carts. They were little 4-tracks, so I'd pull the commercials, and I'd every once in a while get to hit the button to start the song on the radio, which as an 11-year-old was like, what am I doing? This is amazing. I love it. So I fell in love with that. Right out of high school, got a full-time radio job in Alexandria, Louisiana at 17, wasn't even 18 yet, and fell in love with radio and broadcasting, and just kind of something I knew I wanted to do at a young age. And then a couple radio stations later, I ended up in Stockton, California in 98 to 2001. And that's where I got my first PA gig, where I was a PA announcer for the single A team of the Milwaukee Brewers at the time, the Stockton Ports. And that's kind of where I cut my teeth. Got to see Ben Sheets pitch his very first professional game. If if you're a baseball fan, Ben Sheets had a pretty good MLB career. A lot of guys, Eric Burns, who ended up being the Banana head coach for the last World Tour. I watched him play his first professional games. I watched him get into a dust up with one of our guys. He was a hothead back then, and man, that dude is so cool. But yeah, so doing the PA, getting able to PA for a single A team for the Milwaukee Brewers in Stockton, California. That's where I got my start doing PA and music, and what a great time to get into it. And man, that said, I would have never guessed I'd be doing what I'm doing now. So radio was part of my life forever. I did radio up until January of this year, full time, and it was an amazing career. A lot of sacrifices for my family. We'll talk about Sarah and Ben and Anthony and Alyssa in a little bit, but the whole entertainment industry is what I wanted to do from a very young age, and to be where I'm at now is unbelievable. As far as baseball goes, I'm a huge baseball's my number one sport. Love it. I used to go to Philadelphia Phillies games at the Veterans Stadium all the time. And in 2001, sadly, about 10 days before the world changed on 9/11, I was at a Phillies game, and Robert Person, who was a pitcher for the Phillies, he hit a home run off of Carl Pavano. The Montreal Expos were in town. It's his second career home run. I happened to be talking to a friend of mine out who did security. I was one of those guys who brought their glove to the game, and I caught his home run. So catching a pitcher's home run is a big deal. So I caught his home run. Somebody from the ballpark came to get me because he's a pitcher. He only hit, I think, 3 in his whole career. Brought me down to the dugout after the game and gave him the ball. He gave me his bat, and I sent you some video. You got to check it out.
That's awesome.
Such a great memory. Same season, earlier in the season, Andrew Jones hit a foul ball, and I reached over the edge and caught it. I was down the left field line in South Territory. I was talking to Dallas Perez, a former Braves, rest in peace, former Braves reliever. He had just tossed me up a ball. Andrew Jones cracks the bat, comes over, and he hits the ball, and I lean over and catch it. I actually made SportsCenter Play of the Week catching that ball. But listen, so then it makes the Play of the Week, and the dude from SportsCenter, I'm trying to remember who it was. I think it was John Anderson, who's the guy that did the play by the highlight. He said, this guy usually reaches out for cheesesteaks because, fat joke and all that. But I was the play of the week on ESPN. I wasn't even.
That's all that matters.
He could have said whatever he wanted to. But yeah, so huge memories going to the vet, and with my dad, without my dad, I used to just go to maybe 3 or 4 games a week at the time, just going up there myself. I was so close. So huge baseball fan, and like I said, I grew up around it, and to be able to do what I'm doing now is amazing.
So kind of leading into that, you've done radio up to recently. You've done the DJ for the Bananas. Can you compare or talk about the differences between the two, and which one, I'm not gonna say brings you more excitement, because that wouldn't be fair to say, but can you kind of tell us the difference between the two?
Yeah, so believe it or not, they actually went hand in hand pretty well. So when Jesse, when I first auditioned, which I didn't let anybody else audition, that's a cool story too. I auditioned, and before I even knew what the team was going to be, Savannah Baseball 2016, when the Sandnats left and there was a hole waiting to figure out who was coming to Grayson, they made a Facebook post, a Facebook page, Savannah Baseball 2016. When I tell you I emailed and instant messaged and called the number that was on the Facebook page every other day. I mean, I'm not even lying. I called and I messaged them before they even knew what was going on. I'm like, I need to be your PA guy. I'm going to be your guy. And at the time, they're like, we don't even know what we're doing yet. We're not even thinking about a public address announcer guy. But long story short, I ended up getting the audition. I didn't let anybody else do it. I got the gig. I showed my passion for it, and they kind of knew that I would be the guy, and I'm grateful for that. But radio, in radio, you never want dead air. That's like you have nightmares about, the station going off the air and nothing's working. And so when we talked about doing, the Bananas thing, Jesse's like, all right, so I want you to play walk-ups or music for the visiting team. I was like, why would I want to do that? That would be weird. I don't want to pump the other guys up. I want to pump our guys up. But it's the whole nonstop energy thing. So when you go to a game now, you hear something in between every single pitch. I'm playing a movie clip. I'm playing a song clip. I'm saying something stupid to fill this. I am just doing something. There's always something happening so that, there's never any lulls. Baseball by nature is a boring sport. And that's kind of like, yeah. And with the generation these days are, and adults too, the attention span's not there anymore. It's like this big. So if I can keep the energy going and playing it's raining tacos or just something, by the way, the things that people will sing at the top of their lungs never ceases to amaze me. Like the Whopper Whopper song that I play and everybody sings it. But yeah, so every single second there's something going on. And so that's the dead air mentality. Don't want anything, don't want any lulls, and want to always keep the energy high. And that's kind of, I take a lot of pride in making sure that the energy is coming through the speakers, coming through my voice. And so that's why, so in comparison to radio, yeah, no dead air, always something going on, always saying something that, in radio, you kind of have to have a good thing to say, make sure you're saying something impactful. In Banana Land, I could play the Whopper 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 song and they'll sing and they just lose their minds, and it's amazing. So yeah, so a lot of comparisons from radio to what I'm doing now. Always keep the energy going, always make sure I'm there's no dead air, there's no lulls, there's always something that people can, it's overload. It's like there's so much happening in a Bananas game. You kind of don't know where to look or when to listen or what there's always something happening. It's information overload, sensory overload. I love
it. Yeah, it is. I think that's a good point. And it's a good point to what you said too about, the people's attention span, right? So I like to say that everybody's living their life now in like 30 to 60 to 90-second clips, right? Because that's the way people scroll through their phones, and it's Instagram or it's Facebook or TikTok or those short clips, reels that keep everybody entertained now. So the what you are doing with the Bananas, it's you didn't create the issue, but you've taken advantage of it in a good way that you guys are able to harness the way that people have shifted into entertaining in that way.
Absolutely agree. So
going back a couple years, so I discovered you guys in 2021 when you're still playing in the Collegiate Summer League, the Coastal Plain League.
CPL,
but the game that I went to in 2021 was not a CPL game. It was an experimental banana ball game. On July 4th, 2021. So the interesting part about that is, so I got to see a little banana ball before banana ball became a big thing. And then, so I was just, so taken away with that process. Like, I was like, oh my gosh, this, and I was, my thought was, man, this never stops. Like, there's no, there's no like stop. It's like music, dancing, these guys over here, these guys over here. So it was something that, obviously most people have never seen. But it's something I've never seen. And it was hard to describe to other people that hadn't been there. But since that, so my question, I just wanted to comment on that. But my question from this time is, when we talked in 2021, you had been still working in radio and doing Bananas.
Yeah. So and my radio job was, I programmed 3 radio stations in Brunswick, Georgia, a country station, a 90s and 2K station, and a classic hits. And then I also did the morning show on the classic hits. So my day started at 4 a.m. I was on the air from 6 till 9, and then I'm at the station until about 3 or 4 in the afternoon. So already a 12-hour day before I even head to Savannah to do the ballpark stuff. And I'm prepping for the banana stuff, and that's a whole different, story altogether. So like it ended up being 12-hour day at the radio station, drive the hour and 20 minutes to Savannah, do the pregame, do the game, get out of there at maybe, during the CPL days, games were way longer and drug on.
Right.
Walks here and, 12 to 4 games and the innings just going on forever. So I wouldn't get home to sometimes 1 a.m. in the morning, and then I'd get up at 4 again. So it was very taxing. All that to say, back in January of this year, radio, like I said, been a part of my life since I was 11 years old, full time since 17. I was offered full time with the Bananas and have been there since January on the full time role. So no more getting up at 4 a.m. No more doing, leaving radio was a tough decision, but also one that I'm grateful that I was afforded the opportunity to do. It was a great career for a long time. I still love it. I still have, friends at the radio station where I'm at. I'm actually here right now doing this. But yeah, being able to do the Bananas on a full-time basis, not have to worry about spending, 12-hour days at the radio station leading up to what turns into a very taxing. And again, I'm not out there playing. But the amount of prep that I do, I pride myself on the prep that I do going into the game, making the clips for our dancing first base coach Maceo, for all the things we do in the game, the pregame. That radio background, the production aspect of my radio background, every single clip I play that you hear at the ballpark is specifically for, what we're doing. It's not just playing the song that I have and then turning it down. Like every single clip is produced for strictly what we're doing. So I take the prep part of what I do very seriously, and the production part from the radio background into what I'm doing with the Bananas now. So it all kind of tied together. But yes, to answer your question about being, full time now and not worried about splitting the two and really taking the time away from my family. Sarah and my wife Sarah, who's been my biggest supporter, my son Ben, who's going to be 13 next month, my other son who's in Kennesaw. When he was growing up, when I started, he was still at home, and a lot of sacrifices those guys made. I wouldn't be able to do what I do if I didn't have the support of my family and my daughter, who lives in New Jersey, but still, like, if I didn't have their blessing to do what I'm doing, I would have never been able to enjoy what I'm doing now. So I really, it all goes to my family first and foremost.
That's awesome. Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Do they feel like you're you're a star? Do you feel like, they walk with you and people notice you like, Dad?
Yeah. So my wife, my wife, yeah, she's like, anytime she's around, and you met my wife in the booth that night in Tampa. She not that we took it for granted, because I've been there from the start. But since being on tour and since, so she's really starting to be like, man, you're so lucky that you get to do what you're doing. She's so proud of me and happy for me. Ben, yes, my 12-year-old, almost 13-year-old, he is, as I'm talking to you now, when school just ended, he's like, my dad's the announcer and DJ for the Bananas. And of course, everybody's like, can you get us tickets? I'm like,
yeah. Good luck. Yeah.
But yeah, Ben, we watched Banana Land, the documentary together. And Ben, for the first time, said, and I'm going to start tearing up thinking about this, but he's like, we are so lucky to be doing what we're doing, Dad. Like, be a part of it. Like, it's second nature, because Ben's been around it since he was, he's 12 now, since he was 5 years old. Wow. He's known all the, he's known Emily and Jesse and Jared, and he's grown up with them. He got to do the home run hitter on his birthday, I think the first season, which he went third base, by the way, ran to third first. I was like, what are you doing? Not planned. He actually did that. I'm like, I can't believe he did that. But yeah, so for Ben to say that while we were watching the documentary for the first time, I feel so blessed that we're, a part of this. That really hit me, because I don't take it for granted, but I'm just there doing what I'm doing. Like I said, I don't get a chance to look around a lot, and because I'm just so nonstop busy, but to know that we're part of something special is really awesome. Yeah. And to have my family be able to, travel with me on the tour, stops that they can make, nothing better. I mean, I get the best of every world. I get to do what I'm doing for the crowd, the big crowds that we get. And then to have my wife and my kids in the in the ballpark, at times on the road, especially getting to travel like we do, like that's such a huge blessing. I can't even say thanks enough to the guys and gals that make it possible for me over at the Bananas. I am super blessed, man. That's all I can say.
Well, to be able to have that build those memories and see different cities and experience it where you probably wouldn't have ever done that, or even plan, or we all plan to go see different things. We all have a bucket list that we want to do. And to be able to have, you said he was is it 5? That when
He
you
was
started
5
this?
when we started. Yeah.
So imagine, this last it's 8 years, right? No, more.
Yeah.
7
Yeah,
years or 7, 8
8
years.
year,
So
yeah.
so imagine all that stuff that the Savannah have given you, this
Oh.
experiences, and still to the day, 8 years later, talking to all of you guys and meeting all you guys, you're still this close-knit family, that continues
absolutely.
to just, and the fact that you said you don't realize the impact, you've made a huge impact on thousands upon thousands of people. But I'm sure they heard from your own son is when it really impacted you, when it really touched you to say, wow, like this is something that is game changing in the game of baseball.
It gives me chills thinking about, from day one in 2016 to where we are now and to where we're going, like to be able to share that with my family. I can't stress that enough. To be able to, if I didn't have my wife's and my kids' blessing to be away from them as much as I am, and again, luckily and very blessed, I get to bring them with me on these trips. Like it makes all the difference knowing that they're, in the stands, enjoying their time, getting to see, me do what I'm doing and getting to see what the show is and the impact we're having. It's something so special about that. And yeah, I mean, Emily, Jesse, Jared, the whole team, when it comes down to it, brass tacks, everybody has each other's backs, no matter the situation, no matter the things that might be happening in our lives that are not ideal. If there's some troubled times for anybody, it's just we're all there for everybody, and that means more than I could explain. And I had that in my radio family here in Brunswick as well. I gotta give them a shout out too. This is the best place I ever worked in Brunswick, in radio rather. And so, yeah, I'm in a good spot, to be honest. And I want to tell you a quick story about the Monday after how small this business is. The Monday after Father's Day, we played a challenger game against the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs, who were coming off like a 20-day road trip. They played in High Point, North Carolina, came to Savannah to play. And the manager of that team, this is how small this whole business and world is. Back in 1995, my very first radio job, I wasn't even 18 yet, Alexandria, Louisiana. There was a team there called the Alexandria Aces in the Texas Louisiana League. I wasn't involved in any PA for them or anything, but the radio station I worked at broadcast their games or something. I don't remember the specific deal with it, but we used to go to the games all the time. I got to be close with some of the players. They knew I was on the radio. I was a stupid young hotshot kid doing a night show on the radio on a top 40 station. So I got to meet all the players, got to be friendly with them. So I'd go to all these games and I'd go take batting practice with them, and I'd go shag in the outfield like I do with us. But I was this 18-year-old kid. The manager of that team, named Stan Clyburn, was the manager of the Blue Crabs on that Monday night game. It's 28 years ago. He remembered me from Louisiana. And the fun fact is, I think I weighed as much as I do now back then as an 18-year-old kid. So but to catch up with Stan, this world is so small, in this baseball world in particular, like it's afforded me such cool opportunities. And to see this guy 28 years later who remembered me, it's just incredible. The things that we've gotten to see, the people I've gotten to meet, the people that my son and my wife and my family have gotten to meet, like this, it's a whirlwind that's happening. And I'm looking forward to, what's happening in the future, which is we're only going up. It's crazy.
We hear that. We hear those little rumors which haven't been able to be really confirmed yet, but we're excited. And that kind of leads into what I want to share and kind of ask you next is, I literally came into this Savannah Banana world confused. Okay. Brian told me about it. I'm more focusing on Major League Baseball, minor league baseball. He's like, no, you gotta look. Okay, you go over there. Tell me what it's about. Let me know. I don't, I don't understand what you're telling me, but that's fine. And it took maybe about a year or two, right, Brian? Almost 2 years for me to really I put in for tickets for Tampa, for all over Florida. Everywhere was like sold out. I'm like, Brian, dude, the thing sold out 2 months before the game. Are you kidding me? Like, what is this all about? I mean, it's just like circus baseball. Come on. There's nothing really going on there. So I then tried to watch it on YouTube, and it was giving me ADD. Like, the camera was all over the place. I couldn't really figure out what's going on. They keep saying
it's hard to really capture. I watch games on YouTube too, but it's hard to capture without being there live in person, what it really is about.
That's a great point. It's great. So Biko and Josh and the whole BTV crew do an amazing job, and Biko's the best in the business. But there's nothing like being at the ballpark to see what's going on. Basically, because of what you said, it's sensory overload. There's something happening everywhere. We use every inch of the ballpark, every inch of the playing field, every inch of the stands. Like there's always something going on. There's always a song I'm playing, a clip. There's so much to capture. And again, they do an amazing job. I couldn't do what Biko does. He is the best at what he does. Being very honest about Banana Ball, when Jesse first introed it and we played that game, it also meant I had to explain what was going on when it happened. The ball four sprints, the stealing first base, and I didn't get it. I was like, I was still trying to figure out all of the rules and everything that was happening. So when we were doing this test game, and Jesse's like, "All right, you got to explain to him, Shark. Tell him what's going on. Why is he running after ball four? Why is everybody coming in and touch the ball?" I'm like, I know. I'm still getting it myself. So it took a second to really grasp what was happening. But man, oh man, when I tell you, when I got it, and I understood the 2-hour time limit is such a huge factor in all this. It's the whole time span thing, the attention span thing. It's not a lot of, you can't step out. There's not a lot of boring, adjusting yourself at the plate or the pitchers, going out to talk to the catcher, going out to talk to the pitcher rather. It's just nonstop, go, go, go. And it took the players a lot of time to really adjust. I will say that, when we have challenger games, really quick which challenger teams are bought into what we're doing. The Australia games were incredible. The Aussie Drop Bears came to town and they were ready to kick our butts. They wanted to win more than I can explain. They were prepared. They had the really good ball four sprint defense. They kept a lot of the guys to a single, which never happens, or doubles at that. But they came prepared and ready to play. So you're not going to get everybody bought into Banana Ball. I mean, especially guys that have tasted the major leagues that are trying to get back in some of these indie leagues. To them, they're, it's not serious. But when I tell you the Aussie Drop Bears were an amazing challenger, they were ready to come in. They wanted to win at all costs, and they played us hard, and they were ready to go. They knew the rules. They played by the rules. They were prepared. And so all that to say, not all the challenger teams are bought in 100%. Those guys were Kansas City Monarchs also, and the Florence Yalls as well. They are fun guys to have around as well. It's good to introduce something new to these guys that are just, again, fighting to maybe get back to the majors, but the fun is not there anymore in the big leagues. They're starting to try to bring it up a little bit. They're trying to have fun, letting them do, a little pimp the home runs, a little bit more, but it's the game that I grew up watching, the major leagues, is, after being a part of what we're doing in Banana Land, like it's not even close. It's not even close.
Well, I bought in as soon as we were given media passes. Like we put in for, I asked for tickets and we didn't get it, and I almost begged for media passes. I kept reaching out like you did, on Facebook for Bananas the first time. And I reached out and emailed and called and, hey, we'll let you know. No, you gotta let us in. I got to experience this. And I can say it was, as you remember, it was a rainy Saturday afternoon in Florida. Like, oh my God, this rain is coming in. It's going to prevent us. And being that we had media passes, we were supposed to be on the field prior to the game, meet up with the MLB alumni guys and everything. Right. But I think it was a blessing in disguise that it rained, because it forced us to stay off the field and experience all of the banana world. We got to see the pre-game meeting with the VIP section with the fans. We got to go into there. And from the moment that I stepped into the stadium to the moment that you guys had the after game party, the adrenaline did not stop. Like, I was on this high and watching every single angle and trying to, I think I need to go back because I know I missed a lot of things. Right. But like he said, the music and this and this and this, I was such on a high that I told Brian, I didn't go to bed. I stayed in Tampa at my dad's house, and I didn't go to bed till 3 o'clock in the morning because I wrote my experience of the event. And if anyone wants to read it, it's on Legends on Deck, and they can read my experience and how adrenaline filled I was. And I'll tell you, the most was the music. I'm going to give you that. The music kept me going. So my question to you is, how do you decide and I know it's all kind of, kind of what's going on, but how do you decide what songs you're going to play? How many songs do you have? And my last part of that is, do the players come up to you and say, hey, I want this song as a walk-up, or I want you to play this song?
Yeah, I'll start with the last question. So as far as walk-ups go, once the roster was finalized, and some people I can tell you right now, once we get a roster finalized, and I knew about 3 weeks with about 3 or 4 weeks to go before we started the tour, I knew who was going to be part of the team. I've got all these guys' numbers. I'm texting these guys way ahead of time to prep and make sure, like, what do you want for your walk-up? For pitchers, what do you want for your warm-up? And a lot of these warm-up songs that we have and walk-ups, you'll all notice they're pretty high energy. They're very sing-alongable. They're, we always want it to be, we want them to be songs that obviously get these guys pumped up, because at the end of the day, we want them to perform well. But we also want them to be songs that, can engage the crowd. So, and they're all such good guys that they're all, a lot of these guys, and I'm not saying we picked their walk-up songs. They're all these walk-up songs. 90% of them are songs that they picked. That said, musically, I get a lot of questions, can we get a copy of your playlist? We've had people message the Bananas email after games on different, either at home or on the road. They're like, can we, get your DJ, get Shark's playlist? And I'm like, I wish I could tell you there's an order of things that I do. There's not. I honestly can sit here and tell you that aside from the pregame stuff that we do, the Banana Baby where I'm playing Savannah, all the stuff for pregame, obviously those things remain the same as far as musically what we play. The Hey Baby in-game stuff during the promos, some of those stuff, Yellow. Otherwise, when I'm playing songs in between pitches or in between whatever, anything that's not in-game promo or pregame promo, there is no set way I pick it. There's no playlist. There's no order I follow. It's just a combination of, feeling what the situation on the field is. I don't have a playlist I follow. I've got, over 400 or 500 songs or more in my computer and on my page that I use, or on a bunch of different pages, but I have zero order in which I play them. I go by the situation in the game, the feel that I have, what I feel like, sometimes, even though it's banana ball and you only get 1 point, sometimes there are points in the game where either the Bananas or the Party Animals will have scored a bunch in the top half of the inning, and there's just a lot of running around the bases. And when that happens, I want to make sure the energy's right. And, I always want to make sure the fans are feeling a certain kind of way. And you can do that musically. Music does that like nothing else in this world. Music can hit you a certain way, good or bad. But I always want to make sure that, it's a song that takes them back to when they were in high school, takes them back to a boyfriend or a girlfriend they had, something that strikes some kind of memory or feeling inside of somebody that gets them going or takes them back to a spot in time. So yeah, there's no playlist. What I'm feeling at the time, I always make sure I've got energy songs going and ready, and songs that they can sing along to. And yeah, there's no rhyme or reason for why I play what I play. There's really not. I wish I had a better answer for you. I just, depending on what's happening, what I feel, I click play, and there we go. That's what plays. Not always the right one. I get Zach in my ear, Zach Frangelo, our director of entertainment, in my ear sometimes, being like, all right, let's change it out. And he and I have such a good rapport, though. When he first came on, we worked together in Mobile, Alabama, during the One City World Tour. That's when he was introduced to the Banana World, and that's when we were introduced to him. And did you hear that story? Because I feel like I got to tell you that story. In Mobile, Alabama, it's our One City World Tour. We had a guy that was on The Voice from Mobile coming to sing the national anthem. Gets to be around 6:30. We're right smack dab in the middle of pregame. It's almost time to do lineups and anthem after that. And we get a message saying, this dude's stuck in traffic, not going to be able to make it. So Jesse in my ear says, hey, or tells Zach in my ear saying, hey, Shark, we're going to have the whole crowd sing the anthem. You're just going to prep them. You're saying, all right, fans, in order to do tonight, to honor America, do the national anthem, we're all going to do it together. So follow me, and I'll start it off. It comes time, I do the lineups. I'm introducing the starting lineup, and it's time to get everybody on their feet and get singing with us. And Biko, for the first time ever, was right next to me, separated by glass. We never work in the same booth, so Biko's right next to me. And he's watching me introduce. He's like, all right. I'm like, ladies and gentlemen, please rise, remove your hats. Here to perform tonight's national anthem,
everybody, we're going to start it. We're all going to sing it together, all 6,000 of us. And Jesse sends it to me. He's like, Shark, kick it off. I was like, all right, here we go. 3, 2, 1. Biko's looking at me out of the corner of my eye, and he looks like something's going on. And guess what I start singing?
God bless
Take
America.
me out to the ball game. And when I tell you, everybody in Mobile started singing Take Me Out to the Ball Game like it was totally normal to start the game. Biko's looking at me in horror. Jesse grabs the mic. He's like, no, Shark, national anthem. Oh, say. Everybody starts singing it. I could not get smaller in my chair. I could not get more red. I was so embarrassed. And the funny thing about it was people thought I did it on purpose. I wish I could say I did. I wish it was such a banana thing to have done. It was totally not on purpose. I screwed up in the biggest way possible. But it turned out to be like the most awesome organic thing that's ever happened.
I'm sure the crowd was fine with it.
They started saying "Take Me Out to the Ball Game" like it was the way to start. Like
that was a new national anthem for baseball.
It was amazing. but that mistake was such a cool moment because I couldn't have done if I planned to do it that way on purpose. I couldn't have done it the way it turned out. I was so embarrassed, but it turned out to be one of the coolest mistakes that I ever made. And it's something that still will be talked about forever. Zach during rehearsals the other day is like, when we're doing stuff that involves the Thunderstruck kick line, which we do right after the anthem's over, after I say thank you to whoever sang the anthem. When we do it in rehearsals, Zach sometimes like, and the home of the brave, and then it'll be like, take me out to the ball game, Shark. Like it's never going to go away. That will be talked about forever. And I love it. It's totally fine.
Well, I can say that you don't ever have to worry about feeling small because I remember there was one point I'm standing there and, we walked around the whole stadium. I watched all the fans and the emotions. And there was this guy next to me and, big guy. And I looked back and his face was like on fire, was smiling and laughing and couldn't stop. He looked at me, he goes, I cannot understand the feeling I'm having with me right now. It is an overwhelming feeling. This music does not stop. I'm having an amazing time. And you said this earlier, which is so true, is that we never know what people are going through in life, right? We never know, what they're having a good day or a bad day. And I can say that experience that I had, if I was having a bad day, it was gone. It didn't matter at that moment for the 3 hours, all the time we were there. And everyone walked in not knowing what to expect and walked out with the biggest smiles and this huge party that they've been waiting for their whole life. So you guys have so much.
It's euphoric. It really is. Just kind of piggybacking on what you just said, that Monday after Father's Day game against the Blue Crabs, that morning, my wife and I's vehicles were broken into in our driveway. Stole my stupidity for leaving my wallet in my car, but I did. And I locked my car all the time. I swear I locked it then. Took everything, credit cards, wallet, phone, ID, everything. Took all of it. So yes, it's obviously I woke up today, so I'm cool. I'm not complaining about anything. It's an inconvenience that I have my driver's license and I have to get a new bank card and cancel the credit cards. Inconvenience, but go to the ballpark and it's always somebody's first game. That's Jesse. Jesse impresses upon that all the time to us. And that's the truth. It's always somebody's first game. That little hiccup I had in the morning, or that we had in the morning with somebody breaking in our vehicles. Yeah, inconvenience, but man, I'm not taking that anywhere near the ballpark. I'm going to that ballpark with the intent of it's somebody's first game. I'm going to make sure they remember it in such a way that, man, they're gonna go there, gonna have a great time. And yeah, it's absolutely euphoric. On the way home, you said you couldn't come down from your high from the game. It took you a while to go to sleep. When I play my last song and we're done and we're packing up and I'm getting ready to go back, go out to Plaza Party and then head out to my car to drive home the hour and 20 minutes to Brunswick. You're right. It takes me so long to decompress. I listen to sports talk on the way home. I don't want to listen to music because I'm trying to kind of mellow down, but because it's so nonstop and just, high energy, and yeah, I kind of just mellow out. I drive home. The drive home absolutely helps. I don't know many people that would say they love the hour and 20-minute commute. I love it because I get to decompress. I listen to Phillies sports talk on the TuneIn app or whatever, and just kind of vibe out on the way home and think about everything that happened. As you know, we do, we've had a wedding in the middle of a game. We've had proposals. We've had, military reunions, like all the things that happen over the course of a Bananas game or a show. Just kind of, that's when I think back about, man, that was a cool moment. And there's so many of them. And it's just, again, I hope that I don't hope I'm not acting, sounding so dramatic, but it's such a cool thing to be a part of, and a blessing to be doing what I'm doing.
You may have to come out with a book.
And with the people I'm doing it with, I can't stress that enough either. When I tell you that we would all jump in front of a truck for each other, I don't think I'm overstating that. I think we all love each other genuinely. We work with such a great group that it lends to having a better experience at work. It's not work, is my point. Like, we're going to a job every day that doesn't feel like work. We're literally doing some amazing things, and it's great to be a part of.
You might have to write. I have to say, you might have to write that book and really put it down. And I think that book would be amazing, just of all the experiences you've had.
I've thought about that. I'm not much of a writer, but man, I've thought about it, because there's a lot of stories that, from my perspective, I'd be able to tell. That national anthem thing, singing "Take Me Out to the Ball Game," would obviously be a highlight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, as a broadcaster radio guy, you might be able to get away with doing it all audio.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Doing audio stories.
Good idea. Yeah, no doubt. But that's something to think about for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and I'm just commenting on that. I could tell with you guys that a lot of you guys are real close buddies and that too. David and I follow you guys on social media and all, and we're always seeing. I enjoy seeing your posts from the cities that you're in.
Yeah.
Here we are. Here's a group of us hanging out. Before the games and all that. So it kind of leads into talking about the tour. 2023 tour is obviously the biggest tour that you've been on. It keeps growing, but from 2000, so 2022 was a smaller size tour, and it got bigger from there. 2023, you guys are all over the country. You did talk about your how your wife and your kids get to participate, which is incredible.
Yeah.
But can you share with us maybe some of the highlights of the tour so far? I know it goes through September, but what are some of the highlights that you have, cities that you've enjoyed, different events?
Man, so Tampa, obviously, where I met you guys, Tampa was so far, I think, I see, it's even hard to say with probably the nicest ballpark. It is a Yankees ballpark, so they do everything top notch. There's been so many. Vegas for me, my wife went to Vegas with us. We had never been. I don't know that I need to go back there on a personal level. And no, I played some poker. I loved it. I love poker, but no, we getting to take my wife to a place that I probably wouldn't have gone if I wasn't going with the Bananas. So that was cool. Tampa was great. Vegas was great. Nashville. The only time I had been to Nashville before was last year on the the 6-city tour we did. We had a layover on the way back from Kansas City. We had a 5-hour layover in Nashville. So a bunch of us got Ubers and went to Broadway. Definitely not enough time to do that in 5 hours, but this trip to Nashville was such a great city. And I'm a karaoke guy. I love to sing. I don't drink. So when I sing, I do it serious, like I'm on American Idol serious. I didn't get a chance to go karaoke, but man, that city has such an incredible vibe, and that ballpark is one of the nicest that we've been in. The coolest scoreboard by far, the guitar scoreboard's so cool. And again, I have the coolest view from the press boxes. It was one of my favorite press boxes we worked in too. It's really crazy that, with my position being the PA announcer and DJ, getting to work in some of these cool press boxes when we hit some major league parks next year, which we will. Like, pinch me, man. I get to do my thing in some of the nicest ballparks, and I have 4,000 plus, or one, again, name the attendance at the bigger ballparks we're at, but at my fingertips with things I say and play, like that is such a cool moment for me. And again, sometimes stuff I play or say doesn't land. I'm a very cheesy dad jokey kind of guy. My son Ben will tell you that I'm way too dad jokey sometimes, but like there's things, if the game, like I said, if the party animals have scored like 6 runs in the top of the inning and the energy is kind of like, okay, come on, Bananas, hurry up, let's do something. It's my job to try to kind of cut through the, whatever's going on. So with a song or my favorite joke that I make is when I announce that we've found a large wad of money wrapped in a rubber band. If this is yours, it's a lucky day. Please report to fan services. We have your rubber band. And when sometimes I'll deliver it right and I'll get a good chuckle out of it. Other times I'll step all over myself and not, deliver the punchline like it should. And it'll just be like, and I'm like, all right, I'll do better next time. But like that, sometimes you gotta, Jesse's big thing too. You gotta try things. If you fail, okay, but you gotta at least try different things. And so we're always trying to incorporate new things, new songs, new jokes, new whatever, always something new to try to get something new incorporated into the show. And so, the tour has been amazing. A lot of sacrifice by my wife. She goes on a good amount of trips that she can, but she has a job that she can't just take 4 or 5 days off at a time with me when we're traveling. She's the absolute best. And unfortunately, I do have to say, like, prepping for these games, if we're leaving, when we go to Birmingham or when we go on these trips where we're driving to, we'll leave the day before the game, travel to the hotel, have some run throughs at the hotel. Then we'll do, the rehearsals the day of, I'm at the ballparks on the road about noon each day. We'll do rehearsals for that night. I get scripts probably the night before. So I'm prepping my computer, everything. I've been very meticulous on how I have things ready to go. So it's a lot of prep time, but I wouldn't change that either. I mean, it kind of makes the show run smooth. And it's a big responsibility. So I make sure I've got my ducks in a row, and So there's not been a whole bunch of times my wife is like, put your computer away. She gets what we're doing, but there are also times I have to put the computer away. And I have to, when I'm, her Sarah's thing was, before we talked about this big tour we're currently on and what we'll be doing next year, she said, when you're home, you got to be home. You've got to be present with us. And I was like, absolutely. So that's been the most important thing, that when I'm not, when we're not getting ready to leave, when I am home, when I'm in, when I'm with my family, I need to make sure I'm present with my family. And that's something that everybody in Banana World knows. Jesse, Jared, Emily, they're all about family first. They know that that's the backbone of all of us. And so it's a really easy transition to make sure that, we're able to put our families first and our home first. And Banana Land understands that better than anybody. So that's really cool too.
I just want to say something relating back to the whole thing about the family and bringing you guys together and having this great connection. I think Jesse and his team did a tremendous, phenomenal job bringing the right people together, knowing, bringing the right personalities and the right attitudes and the right, and then the fact that you all coming, this is a production, so you're all coming from different experiences in life. And, you have Vincent, a dancing umpire, and he's danced before, and then the music, and even with the players, just to bring everybody together into this one production, I think is just amazing. Their part that they were able to kind of find all you guys. Or you found them too, but
that's a great point. But think about that. We travel together. We spend so much time together. Again, most oftentimes more than our own families. When we're traveling, and so you have to have the right amount of the right camaraderie with everybody. You have to have the right personalities together. Or one bad egg in such a when it comes down to it, we've got 120 or so that travel most of the time, but that's still a small amount. So if one bad apple can ruin that, can really put a damper on things. And so the fact that we have the guys and gals that we do, we all mesh so well, we all get together so well, we love each other's company. I will say that Coach Tyler Gillum, if I had one downfall about myself, and again, this is all back to I call it a prep issue. When I tell you, and if you ever talk to Tyler Gillum, which I'm thinking you will at some point, I text him on game days, probably at 9 a.m. saying, you got to line up for tonight. Because I want to have all my ducks in a row. And sometimes it's like, dude, just relax. It's only 9 a.m. I'm not trying to be a pest. I'm not trying to be a pest. I don't want to piss anybody off. I want everybody to, they know I'm just trying to do my job. But at the same time, if that's probably like my one downfall. I want to be so prepared. I'm texting the coach at 9 a.m. like, hey, you got to line up for tonight. Come on, help a brother out. And but guess what? They never gives me crap about it. He'll make jokes to me like, "Hey, the game's over. We're having our post game meal." He's like, "You need line up for tomorrow yet, Shark?" Like, no, we're good. We can do it. I'll text you tomorrow morning at 7:30 for that. But it's really just an amazing group of people. Yeah, to be able to make what we're doing work, you got to have the right personalities and the right work ethic from everybody. And to say that we have that's an understatement. We are so prepared. We love what we do first and foremost, and we love why we do it.
So we didn't. Okay,
I was going to comment real quick. So we had Tyler Gillum as one of our first guests on the show. I think it was like episode 5 or something like that. I'd have to look it up. But this was when he was commuting back and forth between coaching in Arizona at the college level, and then coming in the summer. So this was before the World Tour and all that stuff. So he's living a whole different lifestyle now.
Oh yeah, he's such a good dude, and his family's so amazing. And yeah, I can't say enough nice things about every single person. I wish I had dirt on anybody or have bad things. Every single person in our organization, from top to bottom, is an A1 good guy, good girl, and amazing person. It's for what we're doing to work, it has to be, and it really is. It's crazy.
So one question we didn't ask you, and it's the obvious, I'm sure people are wondering. I wondered when I first met you in Tampa, is the Shark. Can you explain that? Like, how did you get the nickname?
My very first radio job in Alexandria, Louisiana. So really, it again, stupid response, and but this is the honest to God truth. Shark rhyme with Mark the Shark, Shark Man. My very first radio job, my name was Shark Man. Now I'm just Shark. When I came to Savannah for the radio, it was just Shark, and that's just stuck. People are always like, why? I'm like, because it rhymed with Mark. It's not I wish I had a better, more clever reason as why I'm Shark, but that's just always stuck. And that's when people say Mark, I'm like, who? Everybody calls me Shark. Everybody calls me Shark. It's the coolest thing. And when somebody says Mark, I'm like, I don't know who Mark is, because.
Well, that's true, because when I said I'm going to go up and I want to meet you in the booth, we can go up and you want to meet the Shark, and I'm like, what? Like, I didn't know.
Yeah, no, it's great. I love it. I love it. And my son, my 12-year-old, who's now taller than me, it's crazy. We way back in the day, but we even now have his jersey. We call him Minnow, or Baby Shark.
Oh, there you go.
It's awesome, man. It really is. It's afforded me so many amazing experiences. I can't even tell you how cool it is.
Well, let's get back to baseball real quick, because we just kind of want to touch on that. Now, I don't know if you know, because I don't really put it that much on social media these days because they really annoy me. But you're a Phillies fan, and I'm a Mets fan. Okay.
Oh man, I knew. I thought we were friends. All right.
But listen, but look, I love you, man. It's like,
I love you too.
You're one of the Phillies fans that I can say I truly love. I have no issues with you. But I'm sure you enjoyed the fact that they went all the way to the World Series last year. That was an amazing run, an amazing season for them. Now you play all these soundtracks every night for Banana Ball. You're in front of the game. You're watching baseball, and we touched on a little bit how this style of baseball is so dynamic for the sport, for the fans.
Yeah.
What can Major League Baseball do? Because we talked a little bit about the bringing. They do the walk-up songs. Okay, they do a little bit of the when they hit a home run, the celebrations. I just think there's not enough. There's not enough to bring the fans. The generation nowadays don't want to sit there and watch. So what do you feel that they can do to really embrace the fans even more than they're doing now?
So the first thing I'd say, baseball needs to adopt the no stepping out rule. I think would be amazing. The ball four stuff, it's so strange. It used to be the unwritten rule of baseball. You don't show up your pitcher by pimping a home run.
Mm-hmm.
But that would be one thing that I wish they'd let their personalities. I mean, there's a reason that Mike Trout, as big as a superstar as he is not a household name. Nobody knows him because he's out on the West Coast and he plays for the Angels and a lot of these guys with big personalities, the Jazz Chisholms of the world, you want these guys to show their personalities, let them breathe, if you will. I'd embrace, let them pimp their home runs, have the celebrations like we do, play a song when they get to home plate, let them salsa dance or do whatever they want. Like that would introduce a whole new fan base to Major League Baseball. And so I think that's Jesse's goal. Like we want to do things you never expected to see on a baseball field. The line dances just for hitting a double, for, when you're scoring when you're walking off the inning, do the celebrations, have fun, do things that are outside the box. And unfortunately, Major League Baseball will never get there. They'll die their slow death. And my biggest point being, when we played MLB, the Players Association alumni, you got guys like Johnny Damon, World Series champion, guys that have been around a long time. Dave Stewart, the Hall of Fame pitcher. Bill Lee on our own team, who's, by the way, a crazy character in the best way possible. He's a gem of a human being. That's all I'll say. But when you got guys like Johnny Gomes and Eric Burns and Johnny Damon who fully embrace what we're doing, I mean, that's got to tell you something. Johnny Damon's one of the nicest guys you'll ever meet. But man, you put him in between those lines when he was playing, he wanted to always win. He wanted to do his best. But it just goes to show you what a long way having fun will do for you at his age, at him, him doing what we're, playing with us. And I just wish he would have been able to experience more fun while he was playing, because you can see some of these guys, even though they're making millions of dollars, they're not having fun out there. The fun is being sucked out of them. They're not able to have fun and kind of go all out. So all that to say, let them celebrate their home runs, let them pimp their home runs, let the pitcher dance off the mound when he strikes you out to end the inning. Like, just let you have some fun, because the kids these days, that's one of the coolest things. We're seeing a lot of people, kids doing their walk-ups, imitating stuff that we've done with the walk-ups. Like, just let the kids have fun. Let the guys that are in major leagues, yes, they have a big responsibility. Yes, they're making tons and life-changing money. Let them enjoy what they're doing. Let them invite a new crowd of fan to the game. That's what they need. But if MLB's not going to let it, we'll gladly take their fans, and we are. So.
Well, I agree with you on one thing, was that the whole pimping the home run and celebrating. It's like you want to hold that in, don't let them do that. But it's a chess match. You're trying to hit this fastball, you're trying to strike this guy out. Let them celebrate. Let the fans celebrate. Let us all get into it. Who gives if you show them up? It's not a show up. You beat him. So enjoy it, and then it'll be a moment. But it's all this disrespecting. It's not. It's a game.
You as the pitcher don't like the guy pimping a home run. Make a better pitch next time. You as the batter don't like getting showed up because you struck out. Swing the bat. Don't look at the pitch that's way too close to take. So there's so many. It's not for everybody. What we're doing is not for everybody, but man, it's for a lot of people. And
you're hitting tens of thousands of people for a lot of people.
Yeah. And by the way, Mr. Mets fan, my son is a big Danny Burgers fan. Loves Danny Burgers, Vogelbach. So he sends me text messages all the time about Danny Vogelbach. He calls him Danny Burgers and he loves him. So as a Phillies fan, I'm like, come on, man. Come on, buddy. Let's talk about the Phillies. But I would never, ever in a million years make my son root for a team just because I like him. I want him to embrace as many different things and people and teams as he wants. I want him to be him.
Well,
just because I'm a Phillies fan.
Well, a quick thing, like I covered the Mets for a different site before we started Legends on Deck, and I wanted to cover guys that would go beyond the Mets, and that's why we started Legends on Deck. So even though I'm a Met fan, I'm a baseball fan.
Exactly.
I want to for everybody. I want to watch every game. I want to enjoy every game. Watch every ball players out there stand out. From the least known player to the best known player. You want to watch. You want to watch the game.
You want to know, just as an aside, since we're talking about baseball and me going I used to go to Citizens Bank Park all the time too. I would sit like first row on the field. I got super lucky. It's when we weren't very good. One of the nicest guys I ever came across was David Wright. That guy is again a Met Philly killer. But as a Mets fan, as a Phillies fan, I appreciate everything he did, and he could not have been a nicer guy. Him and Jose Reyes as well, but two of the nicest guys. And as a Phillies fan, it killed me to say nice things about the Mets, but man, they were so nice, so sweet guys, and really just I miss David Wright, man. I wish his injuries wouldn't have derailed his career. He was going to be a Hall of Fame player. But yeah, I really I love talking ball. I love talking about what we're doing. I really appreciate you guys having me. Thank you so much.
No, you're welcome.
You bet. So one last question. So let's
sir.
say we're talking about the differences that MLB and Bananas have, right? So let's say the season's over. I think your tour's over in the middle of September. So that gives you right in time for MLB postseason, right? So the Phillies are starting to heat up. They're let's say they get back in the postseason.
They better get going.
Yeah, well, they're like 4 games above 500. My son's a huge Braves fan, so I watch the Braves.
I'm in Braves country, so I got to hear about them all the time.
I watch the Braves almost every day in my house. Yeah, I'm a Tigers fan, and it's much more exciting to watch the Braves. So I'm okay with his choices. But my question is, let's say the Phillies get in the postseason, you got tickets to a postseason game, and how do you, somebody that's been living in Banana Land all year long, how do you adjust to sitting at a Major League Baseball game watching the Phillies?
I went to a Braves game last year with our good friends, a playoff game at Truist Park, and when I tell you that I was the biggest, I was judging the PA guy, I was judging the music choices, I was judging the organist. Like, what? Well, the organist actually for the Braves is really good. He was playing songs. He kind of took the players' first or last names and took songs that kind of relate to each guy.
Yeah.
So he was really cool. But when I tell you that it's like watching paint dry at a Major League game, I'm not even. I mean, my Banana Republic aside, being in a Major League game is, oh my gosh, it was man, it was hard. It was really hard because and I kind of say this knowing that when we go to all these different ballparks, and I hope I'm not outing anybody here, but when we go to these ballparks that we've been in so far on tour, their sound systems are not used to the way we do a show. We put, like, they're used to, here's the walk-up song, announce the batter, here's the promo read, just nice, easy, just, music in the background. Whereas we come in and we're like, all right, volume all the way up. We're as loud as we could be. I'm screaming and yelling. I mean, in Daytona, I'm pretty sure I blew their sound system last year. And this year they replaced it. But they're not used to what, they're just used to the nice in the background walk-up songs, play them for 10. And they can only play them. There's notes in these minor league press boxes that say, walk-up song can only go for 10 to 15 seconds. And when they step foot in the box, their very first foot in the box, that music's down. That would drive me insane. I mean, I'm playing music throughout the at-bat, nonstop. I don't care whether pitcher's on the rubber, getting ready to throw. I mean, I'm playing nonstop, loud party music, whatever. That would drive me insane. And so to be at this Major League game, going back to the Braves Phillies postseason game, even as a playoff game, stadium was packed. Braves always draw well. Truist Park's beautiful. But man, it was like watching paint dry. It was like, I can't explain. My dream, I used to think, was to be a Major League Baseball PA guy. That is no longer my dream. I have way better gig than any Major League PA guy I know, and it's not close. It's not close. And I'm yes, I would love to be able to. But I would say I would love to be able to announce Phillies would be amazing. To be the Phillies PA guy, be awesome. But it wouldn't bring me the same energy and the same satisfaction I get doing what I'm doing with the Bananas. And plus, I got to announce Johnny Damon. I got to announce Nick Swisher in Tampa. Like, I never thought I'd be able to do that. That was pretty cool. But that's awesome. I as much as I thought I would love to be a Major League Baseball PA guy, I'm where I'm meant to be. I'm doing what I'm meant to be doing, and for the crowd and for the reasons that we're doing it. So yeah, I'm perfectly cool with where I'm going and what we're going to end up doing. So.
Maybe the Phillies will bring you in as like a celebrity PA announcer for a game sometime. I'll just put that out there.
Just to do an inning would be amazing.
Just to do an inning. There you go.
Yeah. Dan Baker in Philly has been there for, I think, 40 years, and he's about to retire, I think. But yeah, to do an inning would be great. To say Bryce now batting right field or Bryce Harper or whatever. Yes, cool.
Right.
But man, I've got the sweetest gig ever, and I am so grateful for it.
Yeah, we love hearing it. We love hearing your story.
Thank you. I appreciate y'all having me on.
You bet. It's been a great experience, and I think you've added to some of the coverage that we've done of the Bananas. I think you've added a whole different element to it because like I said, anybody that goes to a game, Bananas game, and a Bananas event experience, if you will,
the show,
the
experience.
show,
I like that.
right?
I like
The Bananas experience knows how important the DJ and the public announcing portion of the game is. And we don't get to see it during the game. We get to see the other guys running around the field, but we don't get to see you. So thanks for coming on and sharing that.
Thanks for allowing me to come on. I've enjoyed this, and I hope to get to talk to you guys soon. I hope to see you guys again soon at a tour date real soon.
We hope so too. David, you want to plug the sponsors here?
Just real quick, thank you to Easy Mortgage for helping us get this 46th episode out, as well as DC3 Bat Company, Dalton Conde, that is the official Legends on Deck DC3 baseball glove that he had made for us. So we thank him for that.
He's making me a shark glove. He's making me a shark glove.
Oh, that's awesome. We got to see that. He also has the cotton candy glove that I know a kid locally bought it and smells like cotton candy, and he has some other features that are coming out and bats and everything. So he's doing a great job. We thank him for sponsoring the show. And just one quick plug. We Brian has our official Legends on Deck hat. I have one of our shirts that we created, which is actually, this is the glove that Brian has, right? That's almost the same glove. The mock-up of the glove. So I have his glove, but on my chest.
Yep. Hey, I'm just saying, I'm only a 1X now, so I got to get one of those shirts right there.
There you go.
Oh,
we'll take care of that.
Oh, man.
That's awesome.
Yeah, guys, this has been amazing. I appreciate it. I hope we get to chat again soon. And I really hope to see you at a game again. Sorry, at a show. Really,
show again at the experience.
Not just a game; it's a show.
It's a show.
Exactly.
Thank you very much, Mark. Episode 46, Legends on Deck podcast.
Thank you.